Hi everyone, and welcome to this nutrition presentation covering optimal nutrition for rowing athletes. This presentation will cover the average energy and macronutrient needs, optimal nutrition for pre-event, during the event, and for recovery, and will provide examples of appropriate foods as well. Now, as every athlete is unique and has individual requirements, the advice covered in today's presentation is general advice coming from Sports Dietitians Australia as well as peer-reviewed evidence. So if you are after any more specific and tailored advice, then I would recommend a consultation with a dietitian. Before we get into it, I should introduce myself. My name is Beck. I'm an accredited practicing dietitian, graduating with a Bachelor of Nutrition and Dietetics with honours from QUT last year. Prior to this, I also have studied a Bachelor of Psychological Science at Griffith University. My top passionate areas in nutrition are plant-based nutrition, gut health, and nutrition for mental health. However, I do also have experience and really enjoy working with people for weight management, chronic disease, and performance nutrition as well. So to get started today, we'll talk a little bit about energy in rowing athletes. So as we know from our education as health professionals, our body utilizes glucose as its main source of energy for our cells. And this comes from carbohydrate intake. Where glucose is not immediately used, it's then stored in our liver and muscles as glycogen. In rowing athletes, muscle glycogen is actually the main energy substrate of the aerobic system. And this makes sense given that the aerobic system is the combustion of carbohydrates and fats with oxygen. Now, 70% of the energy supply relies on glycogen. If we know that, then we need to ensure that rowing athletes are having sufficient carbohydrate intake to maximize that glycogen availability. How much do you need? Again, it's a very highly individualized thing and it will vary athlete to athlete. But as a general guide, rowing athletes do require a high energy and high carbohydrate diet. So the average energy intake is around 2,600 to 4,900 calories per day, which works out to be around 190 to 200 kilojoules per kilo. Or if you prefer to work in calories, 44 to 47 calories per kilo of body weight. For carbohydrates, the average intake would be 5 to 7 grams of carbohydrates per kilo. Protein is 1.2 to 1.7 grams of protein per kilo, and fat is about a gram of fat per kilo. Again, this is just an average and it's for the general day-to-day intake. If we then start to think about event day, these requirements do change a little bit and we'll be looking at a high intake for performance. So sufficient carbohydrates are crucial in this pre-event meal to maximize that glycogen availability. So in that pre-event meal, we actually want to aim for around 8 to 12 grams of carbohydrates per kilo. The ideal pre-event meal needs to provide sufficient fuel and ideally hydrate you as well, but without you feeling uncomfortable. That's the last thing you want heading into your event. So you want to aim for foods that are low in fat and fiber, but high in carbohydrates. So those medium to high GI carbs are great for this. So some examples of that might be breakfast cereal with low-fat milk, fruit salad with a low-fat yogurt, muesli and low-fat yogurt, crumpets or English muffins with jam or honey are great as well. Or you might even look at a sandwich or a bread roll with some lean meat, some cheese, and some salads. Obviously, work with each other to find out sort of the routines that are going to work best for your situation and aim to get that meal in before you start rowing. If you do have a low appetite heading into your event, some carbohydrate-rich fluids can be a great alternative. So that might look like low-fat milk, your up and goes, some smoothies based on low-fat milk as well. Small snacks such as a muesli bar, fruit, and dried fruit can be eaten up to an hour before the event as well as a bit of a final top-up. So during the event, when you're on your rowing shift, fueling during that time needs to focus on hydration and replenishment of carbohydrates for maintaining performance and avoiding rapid glycogen depletion. So the carbohydrate choices during this event should be easy to digest and absorbed quickly to ensure that they're quickly transported where they need to go and avoid upsetting your stomach. So to maintain that glycogen availability for that 6-hour rowing shift and maintain that performance as well, you want to aim for around 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrates per hour during that rowing shift. So that might look like a high carbohydrate fruit such as bananas, might look like muesli bars, simple, sweet, sandwiches, so something like some white bread with honey or jam. Fruit buns as well, so something similar to a hot cross bun, another great option as well. Now, sports drinks and gels are another really easy way to get a boost of carbohydrates that also provide some hydration at the same time. Now, the trick with the sports gels, it's best to actually consume those with water. So for every packet of gel, you want to aim for around 250 to 300 milliliters of water, and that'll minimize any stomach upset, but also maximize the absorption of that carbohydrate. You can also spread that out. So if you don't want to have it all at once, take the gel over 10 to 20 minutes and have a little bit of water each time to get you up to that 250 to 300 milliliter mark. Those gel sachets contain about 26 grams of carbohydrates. So that's a really easy way to get that 30 grams an hour without having to eat something every hour. Now, if you still experience any gut issues with the sports drinks or the sports gels, another really great option is doing a bit of a mouth rinse. So essentially, you'll rinse your mouth with the sports drink, swirl it around for 5 to 10 seconds and spit it out. And you'll do that every 10 to 15 minutes to maintain that carbohydrate absorption. Now, when you've finished your shift of rowing, it's going to be important to optimize recovery, ready for the next round. So after 6 hours of rowing, glycogen will begin depleting, you will have lost fluid through perspiration, and inflammatory markers will begin to increase, promoting that muscle protein breakdown and causing that soreness and fatigue. So recovery here is going to focus on these 4 main principles: refueling, rehydrating, repairing, and resting. So refueling, this focuses on carbohydrates. We want to refuel and top up those glycogen stores as soon as we can. Replenishment of glycogen averages at around 5 to 6 millimoles per hour, and full recovery takes around 24 hours. You've only got 6 hours between your shifts, so we need to get carbohydrates as soon as we can to try and replenish that glycogen. So aim for around 1.2 grams of carbohydrates per kilo of body weight as soon as you can. And again, choose those sort of moderate to high GI options for faster absorption. So that can be in the form of a meal, a snack, or a liquid, whatever you prefer. So that could be something like an up and go again, some fruit, another simple sweet sandwich, so jam or honey on bread, and then top it up with some sports drink if necessary as well. And then following that immediate kind of consumption of carbohydrates, you ideally like to have a substantial meal within a couple of hours as well. And that might look like a recovery smoothie, a wrap, pesto pasta, or if you don't have a large appetite, you might like to have a small carbohydrate dish, so noodles, pasta, rice, and a flavored milk or a protein shake on the side. Now, rehydrating, this is all about replenishing that fluid loss. You'd like to aim to consume fluids as soon as possible during your recovery period. And rather than downing a large amount of fluid at once, which can cause some stomach upset and not absorb as well, it's best to try and spread out multiple smaller intakes of fluid over your recovery time if you can. So again, fluid needs are highly individualized and it depends on each team member's unique sweat rate, and that's determined by a number of individual things as well. But as a general guide, you'd like to aim to rehydrate with 1.5 times the amount of fluids lost during the event. So a good way to determine that, you might like to trial that during your training leading up to the event. Weigh yourself before and after rowing, and that'll give you an idea of the fluids that have been lost during that time. Sports drink can be a great first option for rehydration, as it also replenishes your electrolytes and gives you that boost of carbohydrate for refueling. And then after that, follow on with some water to keep you hydrated. Finally, we have repairing. This is about protein to minimize muscle protein breakdown. So in your immediate meal post-rowing shift, aim for 0.3 to 0.4 grams of protein per kilo. Now, when considering your protein options, look for things that are easy to digest, easily absorbed, and contain your essential amino acids, particularly leucine, as that'll help for protein synthesis. Whey protein is actually a really great option for this. It ticks all the boxes. However, if supplements aren't your thing, there's plenty of other options you can have to get your protein in. So that might be something like a high protein yogurt. YoPro and Chobani both do great ones that are high in protein. You might look at half a cup of cottage cheese with some veggie sticks, a tin of tuna or chicken with crackers, or a recovery smoothie. And ideally, once you've had that kind of first bit of protein, you'd like to then aim for 20 to 25 grams of protein in each meal or snack, and then have that every 3 to 5 hours to optimize that recovery. So this slide here goes through some handy meal and snack ideas that help kind of tick all those boxes. It's got protein, carbohydrates, and some of them have fluids as well. So the first one is a banana caramel protein smoothie. So that's using whey protein isolate powder, banana, dates, and low-fat milk. And then we've got that recovery smoothie there that I spoke about earlier as well. So that's a great one if you don't want to use the whey protein powder. And this one has similar protein and carbohydrate content using fruit, low-fat milk, oats, and a high-protein yogurt. To get that substantial meal in, a wrap is a really great option. So the example here uses a medium wrap with hummus and sweet chili, providing you carbohydrates. It's got some honey soy tofu there for protein and mixed salad. If you're not a fan of tofu, you can also look at using salmon, chicken, turkey, eggs, whatever your protein preference is. And then the last option there is a chicken pesto pasta. So this uses regular wheat pasta and peas for your carbohydrates, shredded barbecue chicken for protein, parmesan as well, and some pesto. The wrap and the pasta are really easy ones that you can prep ahead and bring with you on the event day as well. For the wrap, maybe just keep the sweet chili on the side and add it before you eat it so it doesn't go soggy. But yeah, really easy to prepare, and they're really tasty even if you don't heat them up. So I hope this presentation has given you a better idea of options that you can eat leading up to, during, and after your event. Some meal and snack ideas. Again, it's general advice for rowing athletes. So if you are after some more personalized advice, don't hesitate to get in touch. And good luck with your world record. I'm sure you'll absolutely smash it, and I can't wait to see how you all go. Thanks, everyone.